Get into the paper review now, and let's see what the headlines are across Nigerian newspapers this morning. I have two lawyers with me here to make sense of all of the issues we're looking at. I have Jide Ologun here. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
And I have Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you very much for coming as well.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Now let's start from Daily Times. Daily Times newspaper is where we begin with. And it says, stakeholders laud CBN on Forex as inflation drops. Stakeholders laud CBN on Forex as inflation drops. That's Daily Times. From there, let's go to the national economy. National economy says, rising inflation driving 18 million Nigerians into unemployment, poverty. That's the World Bank is saying this. World Bank is saying the rising inflation in Nigeria is driving 18 million citizens into unemployment and poverty. It withholds 619 billion naira loan approval to Nigeria and demands sustainable economic recovery plan. Okay, all right, this, we might look at it if we have time to talk about this, among other things. Business Day is next, and it says, data failed to justify Buhari's claim of lifting 10.5 million people out of poverty. Data failed to justify Buhari's claim of lifting 10.5 million out of poverty. This is technically related to the first one as well. Nigerian News Direct is the next one we're looking at now. Inflation hike drags 7 million Nigerians into poverty. That's the World Bank is revealing this. Inflation hike drags 7 million Nigerians into poverty. Still related, we said we're looking at this. Daily Trust is next now. World Bank counters federal government, says 7 million Nigerians plunged into poverty. World Bank counters federal government, says 7 million Nigerians plunged into poverty. Faults the CBN on Forex crisis. We can't afford food, basic needs that citizens are crying out. Presidency insists 10 million people lifted out of poverty. Inflation drops by 0.19% in May. That's the National Bureau of Statistics is revealing this. Tackle issues causing inflation. That's an advice there to the government. Okay. Right? These are all issues we'll be looking at. Leadership newspaper is the next now. And it says, some politicians are informants to bandits. Governor of Niger State is revealing this. Some politicians are informants to bandits. Says government won't be intimidated by terrorists and criminals. Boko Haram confirmed Shekau's death, denounces ISWAP, and PMB seeks synergy among Sahel. That's the leadership newspaper. Blueprint newspaper is also on the same thing. Blueprint says Niger governor's angst on 150 kid captives. Bandits informants in my government. Bandits informants in my government. That's the governor of Niger State is revealing this. First News is next. First News says, with my war experience, I can tackle Boko Haram bandits. The Chief of Army Staff boasts. All right, with my war experience, I can tackle Boko Haram bandits. And that's the Chief of Army Staff saying that. Okay, from there, Daily Sun is next. Daily Sun says, government officials, politicians aiding bandits. Niger governor is revealing this. All right, reveals how government's decisions are leaked to criminals, even during meetings at Government House. It's really troubling. From there, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune, and it says inflation pushed 7 million Nigerians into poverty in 2020. That's the World Bank is revealing this. Okay, from there, let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says rise in prices sends 7 million more Nigerians into poverty. That's a report by the World Bank. Okay, from there, the Guardian newspaper is also following, saying that rising prices weaken disposable incomes despite easing inflation. Okay, and then from there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. Punch newspaper says military bombards bandits in north central forests, and the Nigeria Air Force bombs kill 500 cows. 200 missing in Nasarawa, alleges Mieti Allah, and the report of 1,000 cows killed unrealistic. That's the Nigerian Air Force is saying that troops comb Katsina forests. All right, these are all issues around the headlines that we have today. Now, let's start from Niger State. Gentlemen, it is quite troubling, as usual, that we have politicians who are said to, or who are supposed to be leaders, who are supposed to be the ones implementing and guaranteeing and upholding the Constitution, of providing security and welfare of Nigerians according to the Constitution, from the words or the reports credited to the governor of Niger State. He's saying politicians are the ones who are perpetrating what we have here, if I have to. Now, on the front page of the Daily Sun, he said he reveals how government decisions are leaked to criminals, even during meetings at Government House. Did they talk about this?
It's quite indicting, but I would have expected that the governor should direct that at the security agencies. We have the DSS, we have the Army, the Air Force, those who are in charge. In fact, we have about 40, even more than 40 security agencies in Nigeria, rather than come and disturb our peace, you know, the lean peace that we have in the nation with revelations like this. And it's not new. We have been told also in the past that if we get to know the sponsors of Boko Haram, we'll be shocked.
You'll be shocked, exactly.
Recently, the Attorney General of the Federation came out to say about 400 sponsors of Boko Haram have been arrested. They will be prosecuted. We are waiting for the prosecution. But we know that in the UAE, some of them were prosecuted and jailed. We need action. And what about Wadume? Wadume was a politician. I don't know if he's still a politician. And a kingpin kidnapper. And when he was arrested by the Nigerian police, soldiers laid them on the way, killed the Nigerian policeman, took him away, released him. So, I mean, and that is why when people are disturbed and people begin to make allegations that is this government, you know, condoning the terrorism upon the country, it may not be far from the truth. And we are saying that the intelligence reports are there for them. So go after them, please. I mean, the responsibility of the government is to secure the people. And please do that.
All right. Now, Tunji, the point there is when the revelation comes from a governor like this, we still have not seen any sack or dismissal of anybody whom he feels are responsible for this. What do you make of these statements like this?
You can see me laughing. Yeah. Because what we are discussing now is not new. You are talking about the governor making what's it called? Allegation. It was made by a president, a sitting president, that my cabinet are fed by the members of Boko Haram. And did you hear anything? Did anything happen? So if you are expecting that anything will happen, that means we've not come to the reality that this is Nigeria. Nigeria is a place where you will only be told that people will be exposed and nobody will be exposed. You will only be told that these are the people committing this crime and you will not see anybody. It is only in Nigeria where those in government, those who are to be leader, those who are to take action, will be complaining like ordinary Nigeria. You know, those who are supposed to give directives, those who are supposed to take action based on intelligent information
and give the guide
are the same people that will be complaining, just like Tuji Abdulhamid is complaining. So I'm not surprised when the old president of the country said my cabinet have been compromised, that I have members of Boko Haram in my cabinet, and yet we did not see anything. Nobody has been punished for it. Nobody has been sanctioned. Nobody has been prosecuted.
You're referring to the administration of former president
Jonathan. That he says so. So I'm not surprised that this is coming from my only surprise is that it's coming from the governor. I should not be hearing this from the governor. He is in a position to also correct things. He's also in a position to also give this information as a privileged information, or what's it called, security to the security agency, and so look, track them down. These are the people I suspect. These are the people I know. So that they will work on it. They will not be arrested. We now know these are the people. But when you start talking about, we know the people behind it. These are the people behind it. These are the politicians. How many people have you been arrested? As far as I'm concerned, it's just a mere.
They said 400.
400.
They said about 400.
How many politicians? I'm not talking about ordinary people.
Well, they didn't reveal the identity of the 400. So maybe
and how many,
there are
how many,
some
how many
politicians
politicians,
there,
how many known politicians in this country have you seen being invited for interrogation? That you know that he has been detained for questioning. You have been asked to come for questioning. How many of them? So yeah, this, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a jamboree. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't change anything. It's not new. The governors, the president, the members of the National Assembly should not be crying at the chambers of the National Assembly or at the plenary. They should take action, not to cry, not to talk. Anybody who cries at the National Assembly or whatever or anywhere, I will not take that person serious. He's not doing anything. He's not doing me any favor. He's just trying to play to the gallery, as far as I'm concerned. Because he's in a position to also contribute.
What if he's crying out of frustration, where the person, the member
he has not
is
told us
trying
that.
to...
He has not told us that.
Okay.
He's always telling us what I am also saying, that we have not done this. We have not. Why did you not take step and take action? And those who are supposed to do it, if they are not doing it, what have you done? To say, look, we are checking you because you have not done this. Nothing has happened. So I don't see all this story. I see it as a mere rhetoric.
Jide, but if we have to take this step actually, because we know that chief executives, from the president to the governors, and then even at the level of the local government, chief executives get security reports. So when they come out, whatever they say it from the perspective of knowledge and being armed or equipped with the information. What should be an ideal situation in handling something like this?
It's not just about identifying the sources of threat. It's about acting on it. Do we have the paraphernalia of office to act on it? Yes. If this is happening in the southeastern part of the country, what do we see? There was the Python dance that dislodged Kano Nnamdi out of Nigeria. We can see the bombardment going on in that region now. And we are saying that if you know the sources of insecurity in Nigeria, deal with it. Yeah. But some of us have discussed, is it not on record that Governor El-Rufai said that he traced the Fulanis to outside of this country to pay them not to embark on reprisal attack?
The bandits.
Was it not in the news? A politician saying that they imported bandits into Nigeria towards 2015 elections. Have we not read in the news somebody saying that clamp down on Boko Haram is injustice to the north? I mean, we know all these things. So how do you harness all these intelligence reports to ensure there is security? Section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended says that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. And for that purpose, we have the MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies. Money is released. We have changed chief of staff. We have done several things. So if you want security in Nigeria, it's possible. If you are not working on it, then you are probably an accomplice.
All right. Let me put you on hold. We're going to break for a message, and then we come back to dwell on some of these other issues. All right. We're looking at the headlines across Nigerian newspapers, and we have in the studio Jide Ologun as well as Tunji Abdulhamid, helping us to make sense of all of this issues and the headlines. Now let's get to the other headlines here that talks about the World Bank revealing that more Nigerians, inflation has pushed about 7 million Nigerians into poverty, and unemployment has risen as well. Now let's look at this. The federal government at the time came up with the data recently that it's lifting over 10 million people out of poverty. But the way Business Day puts it, he said data failed to justify Buhari's claim of lifting 10 million or 10.5 million people out of poverty. And the other papers also point us to the same thing. Tunji, talk to us about this when data from government, sometimes a lot of Nigerians don't seem to see it, especially when numbers are being counted or being mentioned tangibly. Nigerians don't get to see where these things are.
I am one of those Nigerians. I don't always believe in Nigerian statistics because most times it's guesswork. And I'm also one of those who...
The one when you say by Nigerians, are you talking about the one politicians tell you or the one institutions release?
Whether institution, whether individual. I always have my doubts about it because most times it's about guesswork and not a proper evaluation or what's it called? enumeration or proper documentation or whatever to get to what they are going to. I'm also one of those who believe that the claim by the president that 10.5 million Nigerians have been moved out of poverty cannot be correct. It's not justified by what is on ground. In fact, more people have been, in fact, it's more than 7 million that have been pushed more into poverty, as far as I'm concerned. I expect the president to even give me the yardstick of how they move those people out of poverty. Is it by the 5,000 naira women, whatever, that have not been seen? Is it by the 10,000 naira loan? Is it by the 774,000 employment, whatever, for 3 months that we have been hearing people are complaining that they've not been paid? Is it what is the yardstick? What is the basis? Is it by the food being said to be given to the people in primary school? Because I've not seen it in my own town, in my own state. Even where I am in my environment, I've not seen it. So you see, you can't just make a statistic. You can give us statistics without backing up with the facts. The facts on ground, the number of people that have lost job in the last 2 years, as said by the the president said in the last 2 years. He didn't even say last 6 years. In the last 2 years, 10.5 million have been lifted out of poverty. Cannot be correct because the number of people that have lost their job, unemployment, I can't have it. I don't have the data now because I don't believe in the data, so I don't keep it. So it will not support what the president is saying because in Nigeria, when you have an individual that's working, he has about 20 or 50 dependents on him. So many people have lost their job in this country. So many people have left
the ripple effect.
Some people salary have been cut down due to the inflation and the economic situation of the country. Some people are not even they've not been working for years. So how can you those who have been working before the 2 years projection of the president are not working today? So how do you arrive at? So I doubt that claim by the president that 10.5 million it cannot be correct.
All right, Jide, national economy says the rising inflation is driving 18 million Nigerians into unemployment and poverty. Unemployment and poverty, they always go. They're twin brothers or twin sisters, whatever their friends, and they always go together every time. This is a revelation by the World Bank, a World Bank report, and the bank has decided to withhold over 600 billion naira loan requested by Nigeria.
And interestingly, the federal government cannot ban the World Bank like Twitter, because sometimes when these realities are prompted locally, they are pushed aside. But when a foreign body is confronting us with it, we get jittery. In fact, the food decline in the rating, about 60% of the 100%. So, and right now, the inflation on food is about 22%. And the reality on ground, let me come to the practical level, is that right now in a place like Lagos, you can hardly find roasted plantain, boli. Because if you love boli so much, you may have to pay about 500 naira. So, in fact, the bunch of plantain that used to go for 500 is about 1,500 now. You see, so the reality, it's not just the data that is challenging the claim of the government of moving people out of poverty. But having said that, I don't even want to concentrate so much on this poverty and everything, but to say that Nigeria is the most blessed country in the world. If the president, because I must say that he is the pilot, can unite the people, bring peace to this nation, let these cattle rearers be peaceful, let farmers go back to their farms, let those who are supplying onions be free to go and supply in the east, because your onions will rot away. You see, when you have resources and you abuse the resources, you cannot escape poverty. I mean, let's have electricity in this country. Let industries spring up again and provide employment opportunities. Real employment that will bring wealth to a nation. It's not just government paying salaries to civil servants and those they have employed, but empowering the environment. We are talking about Twitter, for example. Twitter is domiciled in California. Do you know the billions of dollars that, in fact, the economy of California alone is like the 6th largest in the world. And we have the potential. Nigeria has the largest deposit of proven gas in Africa, and yet we don't have gas to power electricity. We use firewood. You want to talk about other resources.
Okay.
So let the government, when Adam Smith was writing about wealth of nations, his focus was not on poverty, but on wealth creation. Can this government shift attention to creating wealth rather than reacting to the realities that we are being confronted with, there is no doubt. Or are we now saying we are no longer the capital of poverty? So I challenge anyone who wants to be in touch with the reality to please go to the open market or go to a restaurant where people are buying food. You'll be amazed. My dear brother, people almost throw back food at the sellers. That why should I pay this for this? A bag of rice, long grain, imported rice into this country now is about 35,000 naira. So how do you justify that?
Yeah.
So, my dear government, there is poverty in the land, there is unemployment, but that is not where we should be. You can turn all this around with good governance.
All right.
And that's what we are calling for.
And the wealth creation has been pushed to you. The youth
what?
should look to create wealth by themselves. The youth should not be lazy. I'm quoting our leaders. We used to be the one to create the wealth in an environment that's not conducive.
Okay.
The government they've been pushing all their responsibility to us. Security is our responsibility. Wealth creation is our responsibility. Job creation is our responsibility. Yes. I don't even know what the work of government is now.
Well, Nigerians have always been resilient people. We look forward to that synergy where government is taking their responsibility and the citizens are taking theirs, and then Nigeria can move on. Thank you so much, Tunji Abdulhamid, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jide Logun, for coming as well.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you.